out to a assault report. I'm just going to report a shots fired at that location.
Hey, get on the ground. Let me see your hands. Hey,
Get off my property!
Stop.
You're doing what's hard for me! So I have a 12-year-old girl in there who is terrified to come out because he laid his hands on her.
Get in your truck. Get you. Hey, hey, stop. Where's the gun at?
He has the gun!
I told him to get back, and he didn't get back, and I fired 2 shots in the air.
So you fired 2 shots to scare him off?
Yes, I did not shoot at him.
Bryan had one thing on his mind that night: to protect that 12-year-old girl. The one person who had no obligation to her at all is the one that got punished.
I do not regret a thing I did, regardless of the fact that I could spend up to the next 20 years in freaking prison. If people had known what I have lived through, they would understand and would have reacted the same way I did.
Bryan's charged with aggravated assault, which carries up to 20 years in prison as a felony and up to a $10,000 fine. It basically involves my client defending a small child. The law is, if you intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly threaten someone with serious bodily injury and you exhibit a deadly weapon, you're guilty of aggravated assault. That's the letter of the law. The letter of the law is also that you can use a reasonable amount of force necessary to defend yourself from an unlawful imminent attack from another.
I was at a friend's house across the street from where everything occurred. I received a text that a neighbor of ours had beaten his daughter and that she had ran to our house at the time for refuge and that they had contacted the police.
Was it dark yet?
Yes.
How dark is it?
Pitch black.
All right. What was your thought process?
The few times I had met this guy, he was drunk with an AR-15, and I wanted to have an equal amount of firepower as he did. I went to the garage and got an AK-47, which was in the garage. About 20 minutes later, I saw him coming up the road. When he pulled up his truck and he got out, I couldn't see his hands, couldn't make out if he had a weapon or not. And I was screaming at him from the top of my lungs, stay back, stay off the property. And as soon as he walked about 4 feet onto the property, I aimed the gun 45-degree angle in his direction, and I discharged 2 rounds. The second those 2 rounds were discharged, the cops come flying around the corner with their lights on. The cop got out of his car, and he's asking who has the gun, who has the gun. This is when I made my mistake.
I roll up here, I hear a gunshot. He has the gun.
And I told that cop that he had the gun, and that he shot the rounds, and that I didn't have a gun.
That was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
Why'd you do that?
I was almost sure myself that he had a gun, and that they would find that gun and hopefully just take his gun.
Yeah, what did you think the odds were at that point that he had a gun?
Oh, I was 100% positive.
I mean, yeah, we got some problems.
Okay.
You know, you lied to the police, that's the main one. So, the cop Mirandizes you.
Do you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Do you wish to talk to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You tell him the story.
Yeah, I told him the whole story. I was telling the truth this time.
I grabbed the gun.
Okay.
I told him numerous times to get back. I felt like my family's life was threatened. He crossed the sidewalk, and I fired 2 shots in the air.
So, the police officer walks over to the other police officers and says, he tells me the guy got out of his car, pointed the gun at him, he turned around, and when he was getting back in his car, he fired the shots. After just having talked to you. And that's when they say, well, that's not self-defense, that's aggravated assault. So it's pretty serious. It's the same level offense as sexual assault, robbery. I mean, it's bad. The only thing that's worse than that is a first-degree felony, which is
Murder.
Murder.
12-year-old girl who also happens to be my neighbor. She said that her dad had laid his hands on her and that there were marks. I went over there and the girl was standing in her kitchen crying, sobbing. Her face was red, her neck was red. And she proceeded to tell me that her and her dad had gotten in a fight, that he had his hands around her neck. She said he tried to choke her, so I brought her back to my house.
So you were of the opinion that he could show up and cause some serious harm?
Yeah.
And then Bryan comes over,
yes,
and you tell him in person what's going on.
Yeah. And I had opened the door and he said, just go back inside for right now, go take care of the girl. And so I did.
So did you see Bryan standing out there with a gun?
Yes.
What were your thoughts on that? Necessary, unnecessary?
There were so many thoughts running through my head at that point. Oh, absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. Bryan had one thing on his mind that night, and that was to protect that 12-year-old girl. I should say I've done more praying in the last year and a half than I ever have in my entire life. Bryan has a family that depends on him. And what kind of system is that would send away someone who tried to protect a child?
You didn't see a gun?
I didn't know if I saw a gun, and I told him to get back. I did not shoot at him. I did not want him on the property.
Good answer. You didn't see a gun? I didn't know.
This guy has no weapons.
Okay.
None.
I did not.
None on his person, none in his truck.
Okay.
And then you lied to me.
I did lie to you.
You lied because you told me that this guy fired the shots because you said that they came from his truck and he had a pistol.
I didn't say that he had a pistol. I did lie to you because
Yeah, you.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You do a good enough job telling your story to where I really wouldn't have you tell it any differently if you were on the stand.
Do I need to get the prop AK out of the car?
I think you should get the prop AK out of the car.
I was standing about right here. I took cover like this, and as soon as he got out of his truck, I was screaming at the top of my lungs for him to stay back, stay off the property.
Here, I'm gonna go out here. You tell me where he was.
Move to your right, 3 feet. There you go. And I'm screaming at him, stay back, stay back. And he's kind of doing a slow walk now. Stay back, stay off the property. Pop, pop. And then no more than 5 seconds, that cop comes buzzing around there with his lights on, and as soon as I saw him make that corner, I went like that, racked out the round, shoved it under the van like that.
Why?
Because as soon as law enforcement arrives, the last thing you want them to see in your hands is a gun, whether you are friend or foe.
Where do you suppose those bullets ended up?
It could have hit that water tower, but I didn't hear any metal. It's actually a damn good thing I didn't hit those power lines, to be honest.
It's a damn good thing you didn't hit lots of things, Bryan. You're responsible for where your bullets go, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, they landed somewhere.
My concerns about Bryan testifying are that the jury, they think that he unnecessarily interjected himself into this situation and sort of, played vigilante when, the situation could have been handled by the police. And I'm concerned that in the heat of cross-examination, he could get very combative, and that could come across very poorly for us as well.
Yeah, he can't get combative.
What's going on, man?
I talked to the prosecutor for a while today.
How'd that go?
So he said that he would see if it was acceptable to dismiss your aggravated assault case in exchange for a plea of guilty on false statement to a police officer. If they offer probation on false statement to a police officer, the probation could be 2 years. Isn't that a win?
No, it's not a win. It's not a win, Derek.
If you don't want to do it, man, don't. I'm ready to try your case.
I want you to go back to him and explain to him, okay, look, I pretty much have been on probation 2 years as it is. Like, I'm over it. I've literally, Derek, I've been on probation.
So I'll send him exactly what you said, and I will talk to you as soon as I hear back. I want to go to trial. So,
Okay.
But I'm not the one who's got to deal with the consequences.
Well, what do you know? I sent an offer to him saying 6 months probation on false report, and he just sent me back an email saying, why don't we just do time served? If he means what I think he means, that's a wrap.
Hey, what's going on, Derek?
I have some news for you,
Okay.
which is basically you plead to misdemeanor false report to a police officer, and you walk out of the courthouse and you're done. And just because you haven't actually been charged with false statement to a police officer, it has to be a plea bargain for 1 day in jail. You book in and you book out.
So they literally counter-offered with a better offer, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a complete resolution, and you're only pleading guilty for the that you actually did. And the thing you didn't do is getting dismissed. So, it's a win, man.
Okay. Well, I guess tell them we accept.
Okay.
It's done. It's over with.
So we don't even have to go to trial Monday.
No, it's
Really?
done. This will end tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna go cross the T's and dot the I's and everything.
So it's done. Like we're done.
It's done. It's over. We did it. See? It's done.
I can't believe it.
It is the best feeling in the world. He's not going anywhere. He's home. The boys don't lose him. I don't lose him. We get to keep our life. We get to plan like a normal life.